changed the thing.
Could I change that to what?
You could have.
It is Club Call.
No, it's not Club Call.
It's the show still called Club Call.
No, it's not.
It is. Well, what's it called then?
It's just called Wednesday Live.
No, it's not called Wednesday Live.
It's most definitely not Club Call.
It's called
in the
Everton
season.
Club
It's Club Call when we take.
It's called. We took calls last week. What are you talking?
We didn't.
We did.
Did we? That was the worst show ever. I remember it. It was the worst show ever. So that's why
you can't say that.
Never be doing it again.
You can't. We will.
The
season starts next week.
Doesn't start next week. Doesn't matter. It's not the season. Anyway, good evening. It's Wednesday, the 10th of July. And yeah,
you can blame me.
And it's raining outside. You know, it's like it's December.
It rained a river last night.
It did rain a river.
The gated community got full of water.
My road was flooded. Like basically needed the boat to get down the road. So absolutely berserk. But you've gone with quite a fishy.
It's not fishy. I would have gone more severe on the title if you'd allowed me to.
Okay.
But I know what you're like. You're always worried we're going to get sued by somebody, or you might lose out on your free meal with Goldbridge or something. Free meal.
Are you messing? He'd be fuming at the price of it.
Yeah, when Goldbridge takes you to Harrods, no, for your £10 butty. Remember that, Cal? £10 butties.
I do.
We've got Callum on the deck tonight, who is a West Ham fan, which is fine because we're all a little bit. No, I didn't want to put his camera on. I'd just leave your mic up, Cal.
I think he could cope with it.
But he's a West Ham fan. We're all a bit West Ham curious at the moment in the studio.
Yeah.
Because we're all wondering how a lad from the South End of Liverpool become a West Ham fan.
That's fine.
He keeps on saying, "'Cause of my uncle." I'm not having it. Something dark happened once in his life, and it made him a West Ham fan. Maybe he watched too much EastEnders as a child. Maybe he loves Danny Dyer, like, you know, those films.
Well,
the ones, I don't know the names of them.
No,
the ones where he goes round going.
I just wondered which Danny Dyer he loves, because, you know, there's two of them.
Oh, we'll have a gaff. Go out down there for a good kicking, aren't we? Right.
What's Green Street? And that was it.
I've never seen Green Street, oddly.
Don't watch it, though.
No. I've never seen it.
That's all right. I know that is odd for you, because you do watch anything that's got any kind of...
It's got Elijah Wood being a hooligan in it.
No, but that's...
He's Frodo. He's Frodo, lad. What you forgetting? He's Frodo. You can't go from Frodo to Green Street, lad. Just doesn't happen.
He was a bit of a hooligan as Frodo.
No, he wasn't.
He was. Frodo was a bit, you know, Frodo's edgy in those days. But edgy.
The only thing I like Danny Dyer playing Ned in Mean Machine. Because he does play Ned in Mean Machine, essentially, doesn't he? So.
What a minge pack.
No,
squeaking as he walks.
No, just someone said basically in the comments, did you manufacture the water in last night to be a water polo?
Oh no, sadly, no. I will draw the line of playing water polo in what was in my road.
The irony is, lots of people in this country have had to play water polo in that kind of water. I mean, that water that you had in your street last night's just like living down south.
Yeah, basically.
Bottled water.
Yeah. Fair play. Yeah.
There you go.
What
a start to the show.
It was a tremendous start.
Yeah. We take the mick out of Ned, but we can't take calls tonight because he's not here. He's gone to see Kings of Leon, which I don't think is a good enough excuse, really, to have a day off. I really don't.
Fair play to him. He can do what he chooses to spend his day off doing whatever he wants. Fair play to him.
Fair play,
he sent a picture of an Everton shirt for 150 quid before.
He did.
Of one of our worst seasons ever, but hey ho, that's Ned.
Back to the title. Because we somehow got off it. No, listen.
Yeah, go on.
Manchester United fans are pathetic. Pathetic little creatures, aren't they? They are, though.
Can we have just a caveat to that? Some are. I'm sure there's lots of reasonable United fans who were just like, I bet you did it, mate, they will.
Not over this, they're not. I'm just from over Jared.
I know my mate Adam McCullough.
Oh yeah,
will be quite cool.
He won't
over
be.
This. I bet
Get him on the phone. I'll do an interview with him then. Get him on tomorrow. Let's do an interview with him then. Put your money where your mouth is. I got Goldbridge.
I'll message him right now.
So you get McCullough on.
I'll message McCullough.
Get the black book out
right now. I'm doing it right this second. I'm keep talking. Keep talking.
They are pathetic over Branthwaite because go on social media, right? You either want him or you don't, because all I'm seeing is Manchester United fans telling us why he's bad at football. You're cry-arsing about why we won't sell it to him.
Yeah.
Make your mind up.
Yeah,
he's either a good player that you want, But you're just like, lads, we're not prepared to pay the money. Sounds, you were asking too much. But using clips of him that show him making a mistake isn't going to be the best way to the kid's heart, is it?
He didn't really make a mistake, though, did he?
No, but if you're using a video to say he made a mistake, I'm not saying he made a mistake.
He dived in to block a shot, and Isaac brilliantly.
Yeah. Do defenders make mistakes when Messi skips by them?
Yeah.
Did the French defenders make a mistake last night when Yamal curled one into the top corner? No. It was genius, individual brilliance. So I just don't get any of this nonsense. No. Choose what narrative you want. Stop putting multi-layered narratives down. He's either a good player that you really want, but you haven't got the money to match Everton what Everton wants, because once again you've lost a load of money today and you're probably going to have to sack more people, and you're probably... have you seen that meme with the fella from The Simpsons? Tell the children there'll be no roof repairs tonight. That's what's happened at Man United. There'll be no roof repairs tonight. Whatever your name is, Radcliffe, Jim. It's pathetic. Listen, to Everton, he's a £70 million player. That's all that matters. If you don't want to pay 70 million, move on then. Go and buy somebody else. Go get that kid that Real Madrid are going to buy anyway. Because I know if we want Jadon Sancho for 10 million quid, can we have him then? You want 50, but we only think he's 10.
Yeah.
We only think he's 10. Can we have him then? Is that how it works? Do you now cry arse buying players? Is that what we're on to? And then the flip side of it is Manchester-based journalists putting out scare stories about our football club saying, oh, but he might fail PSR, and maybe you're not being... due diligence seems to be taking a lot of time. Yeah. What can be I wonder what's going on there. What a load of nonsense. Client journalism to scare our fans. Throwing bids in to try and unsettle the player. Putting stories about the player is going to go on strike. Well, he didn't look on strike yesterday when he looked really happy being back at Finch Farm in the lovely new lemon Custody training gear that I want to buy, Everton. So where is it? You're also on the list. Just putting that out there now, but I'm willing to leave that for now. I want training gear, money in my pocket, let me buy it. Don't have these issues at West Ham, do you, no. Cal? No?
Listen, I was at West Ham's ground on Monday. I knew we had Callum. I had to go immerse myself so we'll be able to have common ground in the studio. It's not the greatest around there, is it? Very, very much like the moon. Zero atmosphere anywhere. If people had ever gone the moon. Oh yeah. Sorry, I was just doing. I was just waiting to see what had happened there. Let's see. The shop's not great. Just like a porter. Anyway, that is what it is. The thing with United, what I don't get right is United fans. I've no issue with them saying I don't think he's worth that much money. So I hope we move on, because that's what I would say. If Everton went after a player. Say it was Nonso, because this happened to Everton.
Just say it was Nonso.
It's Nonso, and Everton went and Leeds said 40 million or that's it.
Yeah.
Then I'd say to it, I would hope Everton would go, he's not worth 40 million, we're moving on, because there's other... You can't start stamping your feet going, he's not worth 40 million, but give us to him anyway. Because that doesn't quite fit the same. He's either worth that money or he ain't worth that money. Telling us, I said this when I spoke to Mark Goldbridge, who's done a video, again, stamping his feet as to why Everton should sell him. If he was Danish or Swiss, he'd only be worth 40 million. Well, he's not, he's English. And his name possibly wouldn't be Jared Branthwaite if he was Danish. I mean, it might. But the thing about it is...
Didn't they have Martin?
They have Martin Braithwaite.
There you go, it would be Braithwaite.
It's not Jared Branthwaite, is it? The thing about it, for me, I said this to him, Jared Branthwaite is a better defender than John Stones was when John Stones played for Everton. John Stones, loads of ability, tremendous. Always thought he'd be a better defensive midfield player. Still believe that, but he's gone on to have a great career. But I think as an actual defender, I think Branthwaite is ahead of what Stones was then. That was 8 years ago, and John Stones went for 50 million. So,
which also leaves this bigger question. Why would Jared Branthwaite, England international, sign for a mid-table team in the Premier League? Why would they finish?
So 3 times my wages.
No, I know, but Manchester United finished 8th.
He's not really upgrading, is he?
There you go.
Wasn't us? West Ham fans said
West Ham fans said that. West Ham fans said that. But they finished 8th last season. Okay, yes, they won a trophy. But good luck to you. But it's not upgrading. It really isn't. And I mean that. I mean that wholeheartedly.
United are in the top 2 biggest football clubs in the world, right? As an entity. No, as an entity, right? As a team, they're the 8th best team in the league. And that's just a fact, because that's what's just happened.
Yeah.
They're miles away from being league champions since the last time he won it. And I mean miles away. Josie said this in 26. When did they finish runners up? 2016. Whenever. And he just said it was an unbelievable achievement. They are miles away from winning the league title and even challenging for the league title. So it's not like United come, you have to go legging it there. They're a huge football club and a huge entity, of course. Yeah, no one would deny that.
They are an entity, though.
No, they are.
That's the right
word.
But
I'm not, and this is the thing, is that and people lose, I think United fans lose sight of that. No one's saying Everton are bigger or Everton should be, he shouldn't be leaving Everton to join Man United. We understand, we understand the economics of the game. Like loads of Evertonians do. It doesn't matter whether or not you actually think Jared Branthwaite's worth 75 million. Because if we start doing that, my personal belief, no footballer's worth anywhere near £10 million. They're a footballer. End of story. They kick a ball around the pitch for 90 minutes. That's it. But we are where we are.
We are where we are.
PSG are talking about 200 million for Lamine Yamal, 200 million for a lad that still has to do his homework. So forget about football prices. It's not, the whole thing's gone. But that's where you are working right this minute. And Everton have put a value on a player who they believe is going to the very top. We believe we've seen a lot of defenders in our time. A lot of defenders.
Yeah.
This kid is as good as anything I've seen at 21 in terms of calmness on the ball, decision making. Can he get better? 100% he can get better, but also he's probably the best defender Everton have produced. Everton have had come through. Definitely since John Stones, and like I said, I think he's better than John Stones. Before that, you probably have to go back for players who come through.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, dare I say it, someone like Ratcliffe or something.
The thing about it is, though, he's played in the Premier League, which gives him a huge advantage over any player Manchester United are looking at, because he's proven he played for the 4th best defence in the Premier League last season. You know, a 4th best defence, and that's massive. That's massive. He's played for England, so that English tax is because he's played in the Premier League.
He played in the Premier League when he was 17. Lest we not forget, Carlo Ancelotti, like one of the most successful managers ever, one of the greatest managers ever. At 17, put him in. Yeah, mate, you're playing at 17. Carlo,
and the other side of it is,
he went and played in Europe. He's played in the Championship. He's huge.
I'm not even being
Netherlands as well, hasn't he? He's played in the Netherlands as well.
Yeah, and in
Europe, Champions League.
I'm not being mischievous when I say this, right? But if he goes to Manchester United, and the Manchester United thing doesn't sort of immediately kick on, where does he go? Because Man City aren't buying him off Man United. No. And Real Madrid aren't buying him off Man United. There's nowhere sort of to go. You get stuck like so many players have at Man United in the last 10 years. They just get stuck at Man United. Bruno Fernandes is a brilliant example of that. He's got stuck at Manchester United. His talent deserves to be out there playing, and I'm not even being funny when I say this, he should be playing at a top Champions League team, and Manchester United are not a top Champions League team, not in Champions League next season. But his talent, he's got stuck playing for Manchester United. Now, Branthwaite, if he goes to Manchester United, that's what would happen to him, I think, because I don't think Man United are going to kick on at any point soon, because Manchester City are miles ahead of them, Liverpool are miles ahead of them, Arsenal are miles ahead of them, and you've got Villa and you've got Newcastle and Spurs who are doing equal to what
Chelsea.
And Chelsea are back in the mix, and they're doing equal to what Manchester United are doing, if not more than what Manchester United are doing. So this idea that you can come and you can try and flex these invisible muscles that you do not have anymore, you do not have those muscles anymore. You just don't. I'm sorry, but you don't. We know, because we've lived through this as Evertonians. We used to think we used to have these muscles. We don't have them anymore. We have no teeth like we used to have anymore. We used to be the Mersey millionaires and could go and splash the cash on anyone we wanted to. But guess what? It stopped. It's dried up, and that's where Man United are right now. So this idea that you've got any kind of stature in the game to think you're the biggest fella in the room, you're just not anymore. And that's what's it. Oh, we'll get him. No, you'll get him if you match the asking price.
Just pay the money.
You'll get him if you've got 70 million, and you mightn't think he's worth 70 million. Sound, we do, and he's our player, and he's under contract.
More than 3 years left on the contract. So United are in what Liverpool were for so long. Haven't been. United were unbelievable. For under Ferguson, they were unbelievable. They were tremendous. They were brilliant. European Cup winners. They were brilliant, outstanding. And then they've won a couple of FA Cups and Carabao Cup and that in the last 10 years, but they've been miles away with the league. Can they get back there? Of course, they're a huge football club. They can get back to the top, but it doesn't look right now like they're heading there. You know, they lost. It's the lowest ever finish last season in the Premier League. The lowest ever finish. I think they lost more games last season than they had done in Premier League history. So it's not like they're ready to just pop. They won an FA Cup final, but a brilliant tactical performance, by the way, from Ten Hag.
Yeah,
and the players carried it out, and they beat City in the FA Cup final. But they're not a team that's ready to pop right now. They could, of course, get back. I'm not naive enough. And are they bigger than Everton? Of course, they're bigger than Everton. And again, neither of us are saying that. The issue for me isn't whether he wants to join Manchester United. The issue is when you see Manchester United fans stamping their feet, telling us he isn't worth that money, and yet cry-arsing because we won't sell him. It's one or the other. If he's worth... Everton years ago wanted Wilfried Zaha, and Crystal Palace sponsored £85 million for him. And Everton went as high as 60, I think, or 55. Palace wanted 85 million. Was Wilfried Zaha worth 85 million? Well, not to Everton he wasn't, because Everton didn't pay it. But to Crystal Palace he was. And he went and proved it and kept them away from any danger for a few years. And then he moved on. A player is worth as much as someone's willing to pay for him. If the football club who own him value him at a certain price. Was Jack Grealish worth £100 million? No. No, of course he wasn't. But Manchester City said to Villa, what's happening? Villa were at 100 million, mate. And City went, OK, we want him, and paid £100 million for him. And therefore he went there. Would anyone else have paid £100 million for Grealish?
Hang on.
Arsenal, Spurs.
What about Declan Rice?
Declan Rice.
West Ham said he's 100 million or whatever, and he ended up going for, 105 million quid? We saw, Declan Rice is a good player, but we had a situation last season with Brighton selling a player for over 100 million quid.
Million.
Brighton just said he's 100 million, and everyone went, oh, yeah, he is, yeah.
Because really?
I just don't see this. I don't... Man United have either got the money or they haven't got the money, and they haven't got the money.
They haven't got the money. They've made pre-tax losses. I know the things come out today. They're very close to PSR, very close.
See, what I don't get is, I don't get why Man United fans are so defensive about this. Your club is the way it is because of it's being mismanaged by the Glazers. So instead of having a go at us, having a go at Everton and Everton fans for the fact that you can't afford a player that we value more than you value, take that up with your football club, not us. And I understand Man United have been burnt by other players that they've been, and that's fine. Listen, if you believe that a player is worth a certain amount of money and you don't want to go above that, don't blame us. Just say, "Sad, we've been looking at Philogene, right? He's going to go to Villa for whatever it is. We aren't prepared to go as high. Do you hear us bitching about it? No, we're just like, that's just the way it is.
You move on.
You go on to the next one. Jim
Ratcliffe come out and said United are in the predicament they're in because they've been mismanaged. They've spent 1.1 billion net since Ferguson and Gill and Edwards or whoever it was have left. Gill, wasn't it? 1.1 billion net is crazy numbers considering the money United have got back in. So how much have they really paid out? Forget about what they brought. What have they brought? And they've done. That's why they're where they are today. So You've got to get a grip of that. Now, I've got no issue with Man United going, we're not getting burnt again. Yeah. None whatsoever. Harry Maguire burnt everybody, burnt world football when you decided to... Why on earth anyone thought Harry Maguire was worth anywhere near that money is beyond me in the first place. But you paid it. Leicester got 70 million for Fofana. He's played about 12 games since he moved. We don't set the things. Lavia 62 million, Caicedo 115 million, Declan Rice 105 million, Grealish 100. The money's there. We don't set it. Everton valued Jared Branthwaite to 75 million. If you're a United fan and you don't think he's worth that, sound. Move on. Go and look at the lit.
Tell your club.
Go and look at others.
Tell your club to move on then.
He's there, Crystal Palace. He doesn't want to stay.
Why aren't you going after him? He's a starting centre back in the England
for England,
team.
Yeah.
Why aren't you going?
And he doesn't want to stay at Palace.
And do you know what? It's not what has got me going about this is that story last night in the Times, which is purposely being put in
scandalous.
there, purposely being put on there to unsettle the Everton fan base. Which,
so we
as
have
everyone knowing, everyone watching who's an Evertonian, we've had to deal with so much crap in the last couple of years, 2-3 years, that you don't know what's going on at your football club from one day to the next. And this summer we were like, oh, this doesn't seem too bad. We might be sorting ourselves out. And then Man United, because they can't afford a player that they want, suddenly have a titty lip on it and start getting the journos, the client journos, to start writing stories about Everton, and the player's unsettled, and that he wants to leave, and that like I said before, maybe there's a problem with the takeover, and the PSR might be a problem for Everton this year. Do me a favour, like United, you've got a problem with PSR. You're the ones with the problem. Don't have a go at us as a football club, and don't have a go at us as fans, right? If Real Madrid came to you now and wanted to sign Mathew and says, we'll give you 50 million for him, I guarantee you'd be asking for 100 million. I guarantee you'd be asking for 100 million. And when Real Madrid were saying 50, you'd be going, what are you talking about? Think about it like that. How much is he worth to you? How much is that young man worth to you? Because whatever he's worth to you, that's what Jared Branthwaite...
If Everton went for Rashford at United, said we'll offer 35 million for a lad who's got less than double figures in 2 of the last 3 seasons, they go off their heads.
Yeah.
United fans will go off their heads. Why is he worth 18 million? Doesn't score goals. Not in the England squad. They go off their heads. So that's the way I've seen him. Good luck avoiding relegation. Well, we were nowhere near relegation last season, mate, even with 2 points deductions. So we weren't that far behind United in the end. And we had 2 points deductions. Didn't win a game for 4 months. So good luck finishing in the top 10.
Why,
the manager?
But why are you cry-assing them? Why are you so bitter to us?
It's weird.
It's so weird. So your entitlement is off the charts.
He's a good player, but nowhere near 70 million.
To us he is. To us he is. To us he is.
Mad.
Honest to God, dry your eyes. You sound like a load of babies. Do you know when Arsenal didn't sign Declan Rice, when Man City didn't sign Declan Rice last summer? They didn't moan about it. They didn't get all bitchy. They just moved. That's how big clubs act now. And it's sad that you have fallen from where you were as the biggest club in the world to this sad little puddle that you have become as Manchester United. That the puddle comes from the roof, I believe, because you can't even fix the roof. Why can't you fix the roof? Because you're too busy sacking loads of hard-working employees. And yet, no one, these are bitching about money. Because you can't afford to pay hard-working, working-class people who keep your club going. Because you give people like Anthony so much money. Jesus Christ.
That's fine if no other club, there's plenty of clubs inquire, if no other club wants to pay it, that's fine. That doesn't mean, don't forget, you're missing the point, the lad is under contract for more than 3 years still. So Everton don't have to sell him. Everton don't want to sell him. It's not June the 30th coming up and we've got no money, we need to sell him. Everton don't need to sell the player. So this is the bit that I don't understand, is that Everton don't want to sell him. Manchester United don't want to pay what Everton value the player at. But there seems to be an issue in between coming from United fans and some journalists like, well, we only want to pay this money for him, so you've got to let him go for that money. That isn't how it works. It doesn't work. Nothing works like that in life, does it? Nothing. Do you want to buy a brand new car? I can't go in and go, you can't sell that car for 30 grand because I only want to pay 15 for it.
But I really, really want it.
Yeah, you can't. It's not worth it. You can't. So you need to give it me. I just can't afford it, can I? Yeah. Or whatever. Do you know what I mean? That's where it is. It's fine if United fans are going. I've seen a few going. I get it. I don't think we should pay for him because I don't think he's worth it, but I understand Everton's point of view. United should move on. That point of view, I have no issue with it. If you look at Jared Branthwaite, we see him week in, week out. We know what level he's going to. If you look at him and think, I don't think he's worth that money, no issue with that whatsoever. No issue with it. But you cannot have a go at Everton Football Club because they've got a value on a player. You just can't. Because otherwise, how much is Kobe Manu worth? 20 million max. Now people will go off their heads now, United fans here and
I've heard that next season the budget at Manchester United, the problem with the budget is that because they've got to give all fans who go in hard hats and ponchos, that's taking up a lot of the transfer budget at Manchester United next season. So
if we're keeping it, you know.
Also,
Willow, why did you have Mark Goldbridge on? To challenge his point of view, mate. That's what it's about.
Yeah. The same way we had Sam Matterface on to challenge his point of view. What people are also forgetting is that Carlisle have a 15% sell on. So we have to give them 15%.
CR7, you. He has played for England. He played at St James's Park for England. So he has played. He has been capped by England. But anyway, carry on.
No, but we've got to give Carlisle money as well. So it's not like we get all this cash.
No.
So the idea that we take less than... And also, right, this is the thing, right? We don't want to sell him. We don't want to sell. Everton do not want to sell Branthwaite. They've said multiple times they do not need to sell a player and do not want to sell a player. But of course, like any player, they have a value. And if Manchester United or any club match that value, then they will be allowed to talk to the player. So once again, stop cry-arsing. Things don't just fall into your lap because you have a little bitch and a moan about them. Because that's all it seems to me. That's all it is. Just like, it's pathetic.
Hayden says
grow up.
Hilarious. United have apparently bid 60 to 70 million for an 18-year-old, but the fans are bitching at 70 for a 22-year-old proven Premier League centre-back. Yeah, it is very, very strange. Listen, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but having a go at Everton fans or Everton Football Club for owning an asset and valuing it at a certain price, there's no point getting mad about it, is there? If you don't value him at that, why would you even be bothered? Because I know that if Everton were trying to pay 30 million for Jayden Philogene, I'd be made up that he was moving somewhere else. Because if I thought he wasn't worth 30 million, I'd be thinking, why are we even thinking about that move on so there's better value? If you think there's better value elsewhere than Jared Branthwaite, direct your frustrations at your football club and at journalists to start going after the players that can improve them for less money. United don't seem like they're in any like sort of have got any chance of getting any of these players at these prices given their PSR records. They seem like they're in big trouble. So therefore maybe they should just have a look at defenders who cost 20-30 million pounds. There's loads of them in Europe. Or go and get Mark Gay. The lad's just turned down a new thing. But you know what I mean?
Also, where's the evidence that Branthwaite has agreed terms with Manchester United? Where's the evidence of that? Again, that's just stuff that's put in the media to try and get a reaction out of fan bases. So fan bases turn on the player. There's no quicker way of getting a player out your football club than the fans turn on it. We see it. We've been doing this long enough. We've been doing this long enough. You see the stories getting planted on players. Oh, the player's done this, or the player's done that, or the player spoke to this newspaper, and he wants out. And listen. The only way. Listen, we showed it with Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon literally went on strike. And everyone was like, get him out. Get him out the club. Get the money for him, but get him out the club. When we got the money for him and he left the club. But this thing that he's agreed terms. How do you know that? Have you seen the document? Have you seen the document? Where's the proof?
Well, if there is a document, then Manchester United are in massive trouble.
Broke the law.
10 points deduction for poaching, tapping up players.
And you can add that 10 point deduction to your 9 point deduction that you'll get for PSR for going over. Soz lads.
It is mad. No one's agreed any.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. But hey ho. Romano.
Oh, Romano. Fabio Romano, who steals all his stories.
Not all.
Off other people.
Not all.
Romano, what you sound like the biggest, oh my God, sucker in the world. Oh my God, Dave1487 said it on Twitter and he's really reliable. Grow up, man. You've got a name, CR7, doesn't even play for you. Grow up.
Don't take Fabrizio Romano as anything.
But Romano
honestly.
said...
Anyway, United did pay £70 million for a centre forward, and he'd had one season for Atlanta, and Everton were offered him for 3.8 million the year before. So United do like to pay mad money for players.
And the thing about it is, right, if it is a negotiating tactic, if this is what Man United are doing now, the new Man United, oh, look at us, we're dead clever, we do negotiations and make hand gel, oh, we're dead boss, then why are you all getting dead, like, tetchy about it then? If it's a negotiation, why are you getting all like, why don't you just accept it?
But James W., you might. That stuff put out, but it's all out there. Romano saying players have agreed terms. He said it about Joshua Zirkzee. Bologna are absolutely fuming.
Yeah.
Fuming. Jordan Lawler says the best transfer source is not reliable now. Listen, believe whatever you want and go to whoever you want, that's fine, but I would literally question anybody who has information that says he's agreed personal terms when there's no deal being done. Other than if someone said to me, I'll give you a new job and I'll pay you 5 times your salary, would you accept that if a new job come up for that? And I went, oh, that'd be nice, yeah. Therefore, I've agreed terms on a new deal somewhere else. Come on. Come on.
If you pay the money, you will get the player. It's that easy.
And the other thing as well, this thing of like always frustrated. There's a lot of sources on Merseyside saying Jared Branthwaite more than happy to stay at Everton, very happy at the club. And therefore he's looking forward to the new season. So the Manchester journals who are going, oh, he's getting a bit frustrated with it. That's nonsense. So believe who or what you want to, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Tom says Romano's a tapping merchant. Listen, Fabrizio Romano does get good stuff. Not everything, though. And a lot of the stuff he puts after. I mean, someone had put the Southampton signing today, the right back. That was out first thing this morning. Yeah. Romano tweeted it about 2 hours later like it was his thing. It'd already been out that he was going to Southampton.
Yeah. It's just that they tweeted. I seen it yesterday. There's a lad in Hull who's a local journal, and he was getting all these stories out before everyone else. But because he's only a local journalist with like 16,000 followers on Twitter, but that's where these people know where to look. So he's putting the story out much well before anyone else. So
Romano, don't get me wrong, he gets good info. Of course, he's built that.
He might as well get your transfer stuff off speed. Do you know what I mean? He can bark the transfer stories at you.
No, but he's done. Really, he's made a career for himself and then charges you to go on Twitch and listen to his things, which is fine. Well done to the lad. He's probably earning millions now but don't forget he took a lot of stick from a lot of journalists in the game because he was taking their stories and putting them out of his own, and then obviously because of the way X is, people just fall in and follow it. That's good luck to him, that's really good, but let's just, he's not the only person, is he? And when he's putting things out like personal terms agreed, that's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. So there you go. And that's for everyone. That's for everybody. Anyway. L4 know the score says I wait for teletext to confirm it before Romano.
Yeah. Just is that before or after you've got a holiday through it?
Romano had Minter to Everton done. Yeah. All deal done. I'm sure he plays with Brighton.
Does play for Brighton.
And stuff was deleted, so there you go. Anyway,
weird that, isn't it?
Anyway, we move on. We'll see. It's that simple. Listen, we've said before, Manchester United, one simple way to sort this out. There's two simple ways to bring this to an end, isn't it? One, you pay the 75 million Everton once, and then Jared Branthwaite's your player.
Exactly.
And you move on, and you go, right, we've got our player now, and we've moved on.
Yeah.
Or you say, we ain't paying that money, and you go and buy a different defender. And like we said, there's lots of them. You know, Mark Gay, as Ped said, he's the starting centre-back for England. Rumours he's starting tonight back in the side. He's rejected a new deal at Crystal Palace. 24, he's an England player. United could go and get him. I'm sure Palace might, I don't know what Palace would take, but they might be able to get him at 50 million, whatever, I don't know, 50, 60 million, I'm not sure, but they might be able to get that. But that's just the way it is. That's the thing. And then you get, I mean, Sophie said, Romano, said we bid 40 million for Conor Gallagher, which was absolutely untrue. Like, there was never a bid from Everton. Didn't have 40 million quid to bid for Conor Gallagher.
Pence?
No, absolute nonsense. Nonsense. And you're the, whatever he is, put your real name, but says he wants to go, though. He won't want to play for the race of 40 points. United might be in that, mightn't he? But he doesn't want to go, though, does he? He doesn't want to go because he's at training.
Once they get their points deductions.
He doesn't want it, but he doesn't want to go. If he wanted to go, he'd have gone on strike. But he's happy to stay, so if United bid, I'm quite sure he'll go.
Also,
can I
just add something to this? Can I just add something to this?
Dead easy.
He's under contract. Doesn't matter whether he wants to go or not. Everyone told us John Stones was going to.
Yeah, this is what's really embarrassing, this comment now. I'm not going to read another one out from this, but this is embarrassing. If he's that good, then why are only United interested? And don't compare him with Mathew. He's priceless.
Oh, is he priceless?
Is he? Yeah. Is he?
Oh, I see.
One good
So
season.
He plays for Man United and he's had one good season.
I like him, by the way, Bobby Mathew.
So he's had one
really
good season.
But that's the worst cop.
Yeah,
no,
so
that's it.
he's priceless.
It's embarrassing.
But Branthwaite, we should sell him for 35 million.
Embarrassed.
You who has a YouTube name of a small child.
He might be a small child.
CR7. You've basically just proved our point that that player is. He's amazing. We couldn't sell him. He's priced, but we can. You can just have our player that we think's priceless for 35 million pounds. Yeah, just give us him.
No, that's sad. That's really sad.
You've just proved our point.
Anyway, let's move on. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, people are asking about. No update on him, really, is there? There was a story The Athletic put out yesterday, but I don't know whether it was... Not sure it was new news or it was just what's been going around, but he's not going to sign a new deal at Everton. I've seen something saying, he wants to move on. I've seen another one saying he wants to wait till the takeover's done so he sees what... who knows, right? Absolutely, who knows? But Calvert-Lewin, I feel like he'll go. But I don't know.
But again, we sit here and we say...
Zane says, I'm a United fan. He's been a top player for a couple of years. They don't even know he was a top player at PSV. Well said, Zane, because he done really well at PSV. People are thinking like he's had one season.
PSV were desperate to keep him.
Yeah, PSV bid for him last summer. They wanted him. He had half a season in the Championship with Blackburn. He also obviously had a really good season last season.
And this is the other side of it, right? Dominic Calvert-Lewin is Everton. Are in a position where there's not much wiggle room with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We can't give him the wages he wants. Neither could Newcastle, and he's got a year left. So it looks like he'll leave the football club, and we don't have too much we can do about that.
No.
Amadou Onana looks like he's going to leave the football club, and we'll get a good fee for him, hopefully, maybe 50 million for him. So you add those two prices together, you're looking about 75 million, right? So if they were getting 75 million for those two players, then we don't need to sell Branthwaite, right? But Everton have got to be careful, because if we sell Branthwaite now, and then we sell those two players, that's the span of your team gone. That's the span of your team gone. So Everton, this is the other thing about this, which again, Manchester United fans aren't taking into consideration with all their bitching and moaning, is that Everton could lose 3 first teamers this year out of no real fault of their own. And what do we do then? we're already in July. They're back for pre-season. We have to then suddenly replace 3 first teamers. You know, our starting number 9 and one of our starting centre backs and one of our generally starting midfielders who was done really well in the Euros. So we have got to deal with all those problems. Yes, we've got a nice chunk of money, but having a nice chunk of money isn't the answer when you've got to bring players in and you've got to bed them in, and you made that first month of the season might be all over the place. So it's not as easy. It's not as easy as just like, just sell them. It's going to be a balancing act for Everton this summer, and that's why if you've got one like Branthwaite, why would you sell him? Why would you sell him when you can just go to the lad? No, you're here for another year. Are you all right with that? Yeah, I'm all right with that. Sound?
It's just, it is what it is. CR7, we'll sweep in for 30 million when you get relegated. Embarrassing. You've embarrassed yourself. Yeah. But see ya.
Come with your child name.
Yeah. Real Madrid, Zane says Real Madrid have literally been linked with Branthwaite before too. We aren't the only club who like him. No, you're correct, mate. Bob says, Baz, how many more incomings do you think we'll get? I think we'll get 5 or 6 more players, mate. I really do. Because I know they wanted 9 and 3 are in the door. So I'm expecting 5 more. And he wants 2 wingers, striker, full-back, probably a centre-back, and obviously if Onana and Dom go, then you need another midfield player at least, aren't you? So, yeah, 5 or 6, I'd imagine. And we'll see, won't we? We'll see what happens. Yeah.
I think the most important thing for Everton is obviously Onana has, he's got time off now. The Euros is finished. Everton need to get a real idea, and I'm sure they do. Everton have got to get a real idea though of who wants him and how that can be. And if he's Onana, if he's really going to leave, Everton have got to get a real sense of who wants him and how quickly that can be done. So we can get money in the door that we can start looking at to get those payments in to buy players. I'm sure Everton have got a list. Of course they've got a list. So Everton need to do that as quickly as possible.
Remember when Rio Ferdinand said that Holgate was going to be an England centre-back and that's why he took him? Can't he get United to buy him then? Because he could have him a lot cheaper than Branthwaite.
Yeah, I mean, Rio Ferdinand somehow convinced BBC to put him on, so I'm sure he can convince him to do anything.
So, yeah, it's interesting. Barry Pop says, I apologise to Arsenal fans for saying that they are by far the most entitled supporters in the land. Barry P also says, apparently the top teams don't want Branthwaite, but United do. What does that say about them? Anyway.
No, I just think it is important that Everton get the ducks in a row, because that's what it is, isn't it?
Onana, I think, will be the first to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you get him, then that leaves a bit of wiggle room then, and then Everton maybe can go and look for a Redon replacement and then manage that situation. And there has to, there has to be a kickstart, but it can't be. For me, it couldn't be Branthwaite being the kickstart, because the potential of losing all 3 in quick succession with very little time to get new players in and bed them in. I think that's a situation we shouldn't be getting ourselves into.
Jez says, on Saturday at my own birthday party, sitting on my sofa, a Man United mate continued his anti-Pickford chat after he just saved us in the Euros again. They know nothing, and the twist is he's actually a football manager. Mind you, they replaced De Gea with Onana. Exactly. Just let that sink in for a minute. They chose Andre Onana over De Gea. Gareth says, Guy last night who was anxious about trying walking football should defo go for it. Easier said than done, I know, but so many times I never played footy when offered games as I was scared. I'd lost fitness and a little pace. Now I'm in my 40s. After all that's happened this year and currently being off my feet, I'd kill to be able to kick a football again. Definitely. Gareth says, a small victory over the Manx. My lad got his SATs result today and smashed it. Only Evertonian in a school of Manx and got the best results in the school. Well done, Christopher. Good lad. Mark says, I reckon United would have sacked their manager, but when they went to scout out a replacement, no decent manager would touch them. United are 3 or 4 transfer windows away to getting close to anyone. United are a huge football club, we know that.
Of course we do.
but still doesn't mean, even if they were winning leagues, they still would have to pay what we want for Branthwaite. That's the way it is. That's football. Man City, we had a lot of money and we're winning things. They wanted John Stones. You know, Chelsea tried to get John Stones the year before on the cheap, and Everton binned it, told them what they wanted. Chelsea didn't pay. Everton said, right, we're not selling to you, go away. He went to the lad, and I'm sure he's absolutely delighted with Everton that he didn't let him go to Chelsea, because a year later he got his move to City, and look what he's won. Everything there is to win. So,
absolutely,
it's footy.
Have you seen Dick Hell's comment?
Oh no, where is he? Dick Hell? Okay. Took the day off. Couldn't face the RS at work. They're good guys, but when football comes into it, they become gobshites. Been in the pub all day, and I've walked in and she's had a right go at me. I don't think she wants me anymore. It's probably just the beer talking, but life is hard, isn't it?
At least you haven't got Man United mates in work.
No.
Think about it like that. That's the way to think about it.
Life can be hard, Dick. But
that's tremendous.
You know, it has gone a bit dark. England are on it a bit. What's that? Matt says, lest we forget, United pay 50 million for Wan-Bissaka. United fans seem to think Everton are actively selling Branthwaite and want too much. In reality, United are trying to buy an asset that isn't for sale. It's like when a developer has to offer 10 times the value of a house in order to knock it down and build new ones. Harry James says, what a show title. The shocking truth about pathetic United fans.
That's what it would have been if Ned was here.
Everton Viking says United and a lot of their fans are spoiled brats. They aren't the team they used to be, and they're miles and miles away from ever being that again, if they ever will. If they don't like our valuation for Branthwaite, go and buy someone else. Stop cry-arsing and go and grow up. Sarah says United aren't even the top team in Manchester. And Alex says United fans have gone full Veruca Salt. Adam said even if he went for 100 million, this is a player that could be the mainstay of their team for the next 10 to 15 years. It's an absolute bargain in reality. Bazin de Bath says the reason they rate Branthwaite so highly, Van Nistelrooy's in the door at United. 75 million minimum to start talking. Yeah, well, Van Nistelrooy knows all about him, so. And Andy Hughes says, just on X, we have to David Datro for Fana. I've seen that link. I don't give it any credit, to be honest. I'm not sure. I wasn't massively impressed with him last season, to be honest. I watched him at Goodison for Burnley and he was dreadful. Genuinely dreadful. He might have just had an off day, of course, but that day he was absolutely shocking. I don't know. I've seen him, and when he went off to Union Berlin, I thought he was going to do really well, and he was back at Christmas. Burnley took
just
him.
After the market shut.
Yeah, he enjoyed the market, got a couple of mugs from the market in Berlin, and came back.
That's tremendous.
So fair play.
That's what I'd go for.
He's got potential. I'm just not convinced that Everton, S.A.R. Parker said, life can be hard. It's not a phrase I expected to hear on Toffee TV. Right. If you were a Premier member, you would be fully up to speed with hard Dick, with what Dick is like and how hard life is for Dick, I should say. Barry Pop says maybe United are still upset they didn't get Leighton Baines. Well, that was another one, wasn't it? 9 million for the best left back in Europe at the time. Yeah. 9 million. £9 million. Crazy. Mathew Ranson says, hit that like button, fellow Blues. Yeah, it does feel almost like you're back in Manchester United's quest to get Branthwaite for 11 quid if you haven't hit the button. Zane says, what are Branthwaite's wages like? You normally pay a higher transfer fee if someone's on lower wages. Well, he's had an improved contract, but he's still not on. I mean, United are reportedly offering him 4 times his wages, which was 160 grand a week. So therefore, 40 grand a week, maybe. I don't know, but I have no idea, to be honest. Saying that's what was being reported. I don't know. We'll see. James says, what's going to be harder, getting players in or out? Can see Onana, Dom Keane, Holgate, and Nihal all leaving.
Nihal. It's going to be tough to get rid of them, isn't it? Some of them. Some of them are going to. But I think it's the trade-off, isn't it? If you go high for some, you sort of don't mind being flexible with others. If you can get those top prices, the manager will, I'm sure, be willing to be flexible if you can get that balance.
Let's say Parker says that's the best sales pitch for Premier ever.
Yeah,
Dick's very entertaining.
His soap opera is
his soap opera. I feel for him. I really do. Yeah,
it's when he drags Ned into it. That's the worry.
Yeah. There's other stuff, isn't it? Brian says, will Premier regulations not permit Everton to open Bramley Moore to show the game on 2 giant screens for our final home game? Don't know. Not sure, mate. If not, they wouldn't open the ground, but the fan zone they could do it in maybe down there, which is big.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be any regulations.
I don't know whether how much...
The game would be on TV, so as long as Everton paid whatever's required to put it on TV, I don't think it would be an issue.
Yeah, sure.
Just...
Emma says SAR joined today just in time for Round the Tower tomorrow. Ned on Round the Tower's different level.
Yeah.
Like, it's different. It hits differently. That's all I'll say. Yeah. Arthur says, if Bayern sell the lit, I could see them coming in for Branthwaite next window. If they come in with big money, fair play to them. Yeah. I've seen someone say once United agree Kevin Little says, as soon as Manchester United agree a price, the other clubs will step in and take him.
Possibly, yeah. Do the hard work for them.
Yeah, who knows? James says United just sold Donny van der Beek for $500,000 fixed fee. He paid what for him? Was he 40 million? Big Donny.
Dead daft.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you understand if when you're after a player, it is frustrating that you want the deal done. But if the club, it's out there. Like when I see Everton go after a player and you see the club wants this, I don't expect the club to go, we want 30, but you can have them for 15. I just think, well, if we aren't going to pay 30 million, then that player ain't coming to us. Yeah. And you sort of forget about it. So I don't understand where this has come. United fans, I think, are worse over this because the journalists, I mean, to be fair to Mark Goldberg, he sort of said this when he was on. The United journalists have told them, as in the fans, that Everton had to sell, and therefore this would be a deal that was easy to do at around 30-40 million, and their fans probably can't believe it. Had the United journalists behaved responsibly and accurately and said Everton wants 75 million for him and that's the fee, then I think a lot of United fans would have been like, I'm not really bothered.
You saw Man United, the media around them, not necessarily in the fans, but you saw them, the media around them getting very upset because we sorted, or we tried to sort, don't know the final details, but our PSR by selling players that were not needed, and then suddenly they
put a complaint in.
Exactly, they started kicking up a fuss of what had gone on.
I wonder if they complained about Newcastle getting 35 million for Elliot Anderson.
Well, that's it, isn't it? They weren't happy that we sold players, but we didn't sell players to them. We had to get money through the door, and we did it by letting Ben Godfrey go, and obviously we did the deal with Villa for Lewis.
We got Irabuno, didn't we?
Yeah, we got Lewis Dobbin, didn't we? We sold Lewis Dobbin, didn't we? So we done our deal to try and get as close to PSR. Who knows if we've got under? We don't know. Don't know. Everton seemed confident, but you know, who knows? And they seemed very upset with that we were willing to sell players, just not to them.
Because they thought.
Yeah, because they thought they were going to get him cheap.
Really, yeah.
They thought they were going to get him cheap.
And that's
you know
where
what?
their GNOs have done them in, haven't they? They haven't helped them. They've made things worse for them.
No.
Their GNOs.
And that was the line. But Everton went quite early with that. Everton came out quite early and said, we are not selling this player for a lower value.
Well, if Everton were desperate,
they would have had to.
They would have sold Branthwaite.
Yeah.
That would have corrected it immediately, and he didn't, which proves Everton want to keep him and have got a fee for him. So that should have just been the end of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely mad. Dave Roberts says United have a 50% sell-on for Van der Beek.
Fair play.
Good. That's good. They've enabled the deal to be done. They've got a big sell-on if he does well. Fair play to them. But they still spent 40 million and I don't see them getting big money. Girona getting big money for him. I like Don. He's a good player, but too slow for the Premier League. Nice footballer though. Everton Abbey said, would you take Reece Nelson or Emmy Smith-Rowe on loan?
They sound like West Ham players to me. They do?
No, they do, yeah. I'd take both of them on loan. I think they're both talented. They're not. Reece Nelson, I think's got something to really do. Although he has been linked with West Ham. Callum's doing a little Cockney walk before, wasn't he? Giving it all that because he thought he was getting and
playing his spoons, he was.
Yeah, and just basically shouting Danny Dyer every now and again.
But which one?
And Smith-Rowe, I think's a really lovely footballer to do. We'll see. We'll see, yeah. We will see. Sophie says, still can't get over Ratcliffe crying to Masters about us selling Dobbin. Exactly, Soph. That's the world we live in, sadly. Dave Roberts, have we missed a joke here?
Well, there's been plenty of jokes in the comments that call Man United fans.
50%. I don't know, maybe I've read that wrong, Dave. The 50% sell-on clause for Van der Beek. Is that if it's a joke? I don't know. 50%, I don't know.
Someone's getting it was either him or think you're going to Marseille. There's a 50. I think there might have been a 50 in that as well.
James says Michael Kearney, yes, the previous board that's regards the can we move in the ground. Kev Little says Ratcliffe doing an interview to the Premier League saying they should favour the top 16 and they finished 8th. Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to. I don't know whether he's trying to make it worse off there. Somebody trying to make Man U worse off because they were 8th.
Yeah.
So giving the top 6 more money. Fair play. Trying to make his job more difficult. Like a challenge for him, like one of those side missions that you used to get either in Grand Theft or in FIFA. Do this, complete. So he's done. He's changed the markers, make it even harder for United.
Fair play.
We'll see. Listen, we will know. Emma, you'll be sound if you come to the Premier night. Just chill. Just chill. You do need to get out more. And you get to see Ned in real life. It's incredible.
What a
it's like sight Ned with his guitar.
What a time. Dick L said, that Ned thing happened once. Only because I was watching Toffee TV in bed and for some reason Ned got her motor running. It hasn't worked since, and believe me, I've tried putting on vids featuring Ned. I think it was just a one-off thing.
I'll be honest, I do question your Mrs. Motor. If Ned gets your Mrs. Motor going, fair play to you. Fair play. Fair play. Dave Roberts, no joke, lads. That's why they should. Yeah, Dave, sound. It was it Bob? Bob said it was the 250 grand joke. I don't know what that is.
Oh my God.
It was, yeah, I mean, that's a good deal. That's one way of doing the deal. Enabling them to make the move. And you're still putting some value in the player, isn't it? By allowing that to happen. No, don't price them at. Don't price him out of a move. You know? I mean, I don't know whether I can read that out.
I've just seen it.
Can we read that out?
What, Ned the Muff Motivator?
There you go. You've just done it. It's scandalous. James W. simply says, scream if you want to go louder. And that was, again, another tagline for Ned.
Nedism.
The Syrian Zillion. Are you a Toffee TV Premier member? Let us know if you are.
Because if you're not, you can have tickets.
Steve Penson says Manchester United CEO thinking new policy reduction in all transfer fees offering half of what we value then. The small increment rises. Still nowhere near what the club value, man. Correct. SB says Ned tames the growler.
I'm sure you can say that.
Dick L says, Danny says Dick L defo lives down south. If he works with cockroaches. No, he said he does. Kev Little says putting Ned in your engine is like putting petrol in a diesel.
It's like putting petrol in a Lechy.
Nah, listen, Ned does all right. Ned's off to see Kings of Leon tonight.
Yeah, sex
in Manchester. So
on fire.
If you see Ned and you're a Manchester United fan, have a chat with him about Branthwaite. See get Ned's take on it. What Ned would sell Jarrad Branthwaite. I think that'd be an interesting conversation with Ned. See what you could get for Big Jazza there. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Be interesting. I'll just do a refresh on our Premier comments very, very quickly. James says hard drink. Think Dick L needs to go to HR if he can't work with his Reds mates.
Yeah.
No good him needing to take leave from them. No. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Dick, don't accept any of that nonsense from them, mate. Probably never been to Anfield. You've probably been to Anfield more than they have, mate. So just swerve them. Don't let them wind you up to the point where you don't want to go and work, mate. There's just that bullying, mate. That's
disgusting.
So just get that sorted. Dick says, what is your score prediction tonight, lads? I fancy England because Koeman is clueless.
2-2 England.
I hope Jordan has a good game and wins it, and I'll go in tomorrow and give it to the RS Cup. What do you think?
2-2 England on pens.
Yeah, going for pens. I think England will win. I'm going 2-1 England. Because why wouldn't you? Dick, you know what I mean? What you've got to do, go into HR and say, this is how you feel about your red shite mates giving you stick. And this is also how you feel about Manchester United fans cry Arsenal over Branthwaite. That's not worked again.
Oh, just
the big build-up.
Just press it. Press play.
It's a disgrace. That's what it is. A disgrace.
Do you see?
That's it.
So there you go. That's all you have to say.
Mikel
Keep that with you. Mikel has told you. Mikel has said what you need to hear. Carlisle do have a sell-on fee. Yep. Zillion. We'll put it on, mate. I think it's Friday. I'm getting a confirmation, so it'll be up. The minutes I know, you will know, mate, as a Premier member. David says maybe when City come calling next season, they might let Stones go on the cheap to United. Joe says is motor, gas or electric. Raymond's gone 2-1 England. Yeah, I think 2-1 England. Carla says Dick has to go to the Premier night. Surely it would be like a celebrity arriving.
Yeah,
I think so. The problem is, Carla, we wouldn't know he's there, would we?
No.
He'd have to come in and announce himself, which would be interesting.
The Dick is in the house.
Like Dom and Dick in
the bungalow. Dick and Dom. In the bungalow.
Dick and Dom. Lollipop says United fan here. I don't blame Everton playing hardball over Branthwaite. He should build Everton around them defensively. We want to, mate, but we're not stupid. We know if Manchester United offer what Everton wants, he will go. I don't think anyone's being naive. We know where we are, but one thing I don't think we will do is sell them on the cheap, because that we can't. We're not in a position where we've got billions of pounds to play with. And we want to keep him anyway. He's not a player we're looking to get rid of. We want to keep him. We understand that if Manchester United offered the money, then he'll probably go. So that's just where it is. Right, we're done. You beautiful people. Thank you very much for all the interaction. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. We will see you all at lunchtime tomorrow. Good luck to England tonight. And Jordan Pickford, go ahead, lad. Go and smash it. See you later. Bye.